And hello, hello, hello. Hey, good evening. Yeah, I sent the links also to Tui and Kevin, as we were just all on the front lines on WWG1, WGA.love. So we were on that on front lines. So anyway, but usually doesn't run so long to maybe it ended about 45 minutes or hour into it, and but it's okay. We were covering the solar wink that happened.
Nice.
Yeah, so the sun basically just stopped for about 30 minutes or so. It was on a very low minimum, and all these other energies showed up.
And that's interesting. What were the other energies?
Well, it has to do with the magnetic energies, the energies that are beyond what is normally, like the Van Allen belt that we're talking about, usually our own magnetic sphere. But this is literally the magnetic ropes that are attached to the sun, right? And that we're part of a feedback. So, if you ever see like a toroidal field of magnetic field around the Earth, right? And you see that it's like a donut shape, but the energy goes out the top and wraps around the donut and comes back in the bottom of the donut. So if you can imagine that there's these individual ropes of energy that are flowing in that direction. But if it's done on a solar system-wide scale, that those ropes are that we're attached to one of those ropes that are then connected to the sun, and that's how we trail behind the sun as these ropes are whipping around. But they whip around, and if you see the toroidal fields pattern, so they're always going not in a straight line. They're kind of spiraling. So we have this spiral magnetic energy that we're attached to, and when the sun energy, or let's just say the bright energy, or the vivid or the loud energy of the sun is quiet, the other energies can show up because they're much more subtle, though very strong. So when the sun's energy of light and plasma is at a minimum, the other energies that this other energy is usually washing over is now available to be seen. So when that minimum occurred, we had like the Van Allen belt, right? You see all these colors and everything. That happened without the sun, but it was going from behind our planet, from the dark side that was facing the sun at the time. So, and streaming out away from what would be the sun, though the Earth being in the center between the sun, and where this energy flow was heading out from. And if you looked at what that would look like if we're trailing behind the sun in a spiral, like on a comet tail, as we're spiraling outwards, we're literally have this energy that's going out from the Earth and going out towards actually Saturn, and it flips around and comes back, but it goes back to the sun. So these are, again, this magnetic rope that's going out and in. It's not as though it's all neat and tidy, right? it's like electricity. If you see electricity, it's going all over the place in different directions, but there's a path, right? And it follows a path, and it finally gets to where it's going. Right? And so it's the same with these magnetic energies. It's going to flow out all the way through to Saturn and then rip around and go back to the sun. That is the feedback that actually then, again, energizes the sun to put out more light and heat. The way I see it.
No, that's a great explanation. I had a physicist just explain it not so differently.
Yeah. I'm glad they catch up.
Yeah, I'm glad they're probably watching the show is why.
The funny thing is, like Thomas Gabriel from American Intelligence Media has written a book I didn't know about. It's just talking about these. I guess I forgot what they call it, the great ethers or something like that. But these energies that are there, that scientists are rediscovering. One of the other things that's interesting is when this minimum happens, there's magnetic doorways that are appearing, and bright light is coming from them. And so they've noticed this happening, and what they're seeing inside is the brightness of these cords, these magnetic cords, are able to be seen at these doorways that are appearing.
Wow!
And we've actually set up satellites to monitor them because they are staying in one place, almost like a junction, right? I would see it as a junction. Well, yes, but when you see these magnetic ropes crossing over like ley lines, right? Where that would happen, it would show up as that doorway.
Right, like creating some kind of 0 point. Sure, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's amazing. So anyway, that's kind of what we were going over, and then anyway, Tui jumped on. So Tui is here. So Tui, you wanna jump into this?
Hey Dan, hey Tank.
Hey Tui, what's going on, man?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm glad you made it back over here. Sorry to cut you short off over on the other broadcast, but I thought it's good we keep both running at the same, at the same time, so at their time. So.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's a very interesting topic you guys are talking about. About the sun. I was talking about yesterday, the connection between us and the sun, the planet, the sun. Right now, a lot of scientists they think that all these are individualized, but in reality, the energy from us goes to the sun and it comes back to us, and that's how it cycles. And so, to the rest of the other planets or the different timelines that Mars, Jupiter, and all these other different timelines, and the galactics and the higher civilization races they understand, and that's why they can manipulate time and travel through it, because they understand the relationship between time, space, and the rhythm and the different frequencies they exist in. So in the future, we'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to help. We'll be matured enough. First thing we have to be matured is about ourselves and the energy within us. When we physically understand the physical body and how we relate to the environment around us, we'll be able to understand how the planet and how we are related to Agatha and all the other different expressions of the frequencies of our realities that we are part of. And that's where people are coming from. That's where the galactics are coming from. Different frequencies of planet, the same moment now that we have. So the frequencies are just so different that your body thinks that they are somewhere in the future or somewhere in a different planet outside of you. But all this awareness will come, will just naturally come in. No one will have, you don't have to discover it. No matter how much you try to discover it outside of you, you will never figure it out because you're always stuck on how you measure everything through the physical level. But if you connect yourself to the spiritual energy within anyone, you can be in the sun, you can travel anywhere in the universe, wherever your awareness can take you. And you can be lost in it and then you'll be back. And there's so much that will be understood in the future. But this is where right now what we're doing right now, the trust and the freedom that we're trying to do right now is the beginning of all this unity or this awareness coming together again, and to self-realize and to self-aware and to be sovereign. Once we become sovereign, all these other galactics will be able to tell us their connection to us, that we are not totally different from them, and this creation, this reality that we are here creating together, is just part of that, of that wisdom that we are learning together individually and as the human race on the planet. And to be able to remember that ourselves will be connected back to them. First to Agatha, which is the half frequency to where we are right now, which is a little bit ahead in the future in a linear experience. But if you want to reach them, you have to, like, you can dig under, then you'll reach them after about 800 miles, 400 miles, and then change the gravity, and then another another 400 miles, and then you'll reach them. But the frequency is just a little faster than what we have right now. It's a little closer to your spiritual energy, and so no matter how much people may hear this is the first time they've heard about Agatha or anything. It's part of this planet, and it's part of the probability. And so a lot of other people in the past that have, especially from here, from the Pacific, when this 26,000 years agreement happened and something big actually, one part of the frequency of the planet got changed, and that's why we have no more landmass here in the Pacific. The landmass was gone. There are certain people there that actually had the connection and had the gateway to Agatha, and the people from there were able to take them in. And it's the same thing that's happening, in the how many, even in World War II, the Agatha people are taking some of the people from Germany, and it continues in that way. And the same thing, that's if we are aware, we'll be able to do the same thing if we become sovereign. Because all of them, they're in Agatha, everyone is connected. Every spiritual energy is sovereign. Everyone organizes everything in unity, and everyone is aware of the balance of the timeline. In here on the planet, on the surface, they call it the surface. We have to try and the balance is. It takes thousands of years, and now we're trying to balance all those 36,000 years. And so, yeah, the sun, you'll be able to understand. There are very high level physics and understanding about the relationship between the Agatha sun and our sun and the moon, which is part of our DNA. And so all this knowledge will just come naturally if we start to get connected back to the planet. I may talk about it, and people will try and prove it, but they will never be able to, because these are all different frequencies of time. And the planets, that's what the planets are. And so there are technologies especially in the US government. They already find out a way to reach there, and they've been in contact with the people that are there in Agatha, the people that control the moon, people that are there in Mars, and all the different probabilities for the future in certain, and some high-level beings that are part of the Ra Confederacy. They're all involved in this big change, whatever level that may be. For us, the focus that we have is our physical level, which is one of the most important part of this big change, and that's why we are doing this. That's why that's why Kim and what you represent about about sovereignty, about freedom, about the changing of these, the systems of the planet, and about how all the different cultures will be able to come together and be truly sovereign and truly remember who they are, and they can stand and represent themselves in the galactic, maybe in the Galactic Council. Right now, we still don't have that because we haven't proved yet that we are sovereign. We haven't proved yet that we know who we are. But if we get connected, every single spiritual energy, that human being and all the different timelines, they have the right to become, to speak within the council, or the galactic council, or even the solar council that is part of our solar system, which is the timelines here. Kim is the only one that has that ability to, because she understands she's part of this agreement, and they were able to physically allow her to speak on behalf of every of humanity, because they understand, because she represents the future of all our unity. So this is the reason why, all this knowledge will become, about the sun and all this. We are all part of a single connection. That right now we may think we are individualized, we are not connected to the sun. No, you are connected to the sun. The spiritual energy within you is part of the planet and is part of the sun, and we're just expressing love, and that's why no one can live outside of the sun, and you cannot. The sun cannot live outside of you as well. We need you to actually understand. Even the word sun doesn't exist without you, without human beings. So without you, there's no purpose to every existence. And so right now, the way you talk, the way you understand things, this is very important in the spiritual aspect of the whole timeline. The experience to actually see and breathe the air and see the sun and talk and use perception. This is this is an experience that was created and agreed on in the beginning. And so we may think we're living individually different lives, and it doesn't really matter. But truly, without us, without the love, there is nothing.
All right.
Yeah, and so it's very important that we focus on the spiritual awareness within us, because every knowledge that we try to create or we try to get, we'll get lost in it if we don't figure ourselves out. And that's the reason why this Ra Confederacy and the Ra Agreement that we are involved.
Okay. Well, so what about our what progress you're making in Fiji right now?
Yes, I was happy today. We actually went to the bank, and we called Kim, because even though we tried to talk with the manager of the bank, and they've said, oh, we are ready to receive funds. And so we called Kim up, and we had a really good talk with Kim. I was able to understand some of the things that from her perspective about the banking system and how the block that has been happening right now to the trust, and how they're trying to because the way they control, the way they design the banking system and the way they want to try and control it, and ultimately, right now the only thing that they're trying to do is control, which is why they're stopping the funds from coming in. And so Kim said that the money will have to go through the Australian Reserve Bank, and then from there it will be distributed to the rest of the small Pacific countries. And so, like I've mentioned with DANK on a few shows ago, that I understand what she was saying, that she was waiting on the Chinese and the Reserve Bank. And so today we were able to talk properly. I was able to understand her, and we will do everything from our side to get our banking system isolated, and we have to do that as soon as we can, and we have to try and connect straight to the trust, or even the same terminal, but isolated from the terminal that they're using. And so that's what I'm doing with our Aboriginal tribe in Australia, and that's what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the how to actually do that, and to have access directly to Kim, and as her being the trustee, we will be able to become what you call the beneficiary, and then she would be able to fulfill the role that she's been given as the trustee of the assets of the planet. So since the quarantine, that because he's the one that's gonna say that the intention of how the money is going to be used, if it's gonna free or if it's gonna help people become sovereign, or are they gonna be being controlled and being enslaved more. So I'm thankful that for that role. And there's a lot of people against her all over the planet, especially the what you call the cabal and the old system. So ultimately, all of them are running out of money. They don't have anything because only a king would be able to would be able to allow for these funds and all this allocation to happen. So right now they're trying to um, block every single transaction that is going to do. And so we'll become, in Fiji, we want to do it as a sample to every country on the planet because now we have to physically go stand for her and stand with her to try and do this because that's the big lesson that we will have to learn. We have to stand to become sovereign. It's not just going to be a spiritual alignment. It's also going to be physically standing for sovereignty and proving. So we talked about the Chinese government taking control over the central banks that we have in the country, and their ultimate plan on trying to build the military structure for the Chinese government here around the Pacific. I told her we didn't know that. We heard a little bit about it, but I'm sure that our leaders would be involved in, and that's the reason why it's time for us to stand. We're not going to stand against them. We're going to stand. We're going to prove because they also need. They need this freedom, especially the Chinese government as well. For thousands of years, they wouldn't end up anywhere if this doesn't happen to them as well. So we'll become that change. When we started talking about the kingdom of mana in the first few months, that's exactly exactly what his the cabal is talking about. Is how the kingdom of mana was talking about kin to me. They said that she's gone, she's gone rogue, and they don't have, they don't want, they don't want, they can just access the funds on their own because they have the connection to the terminal, which is the private terminal. But ultimately, Kim will be always be the trustee because if you want to transfer fund or if you want to get fund, she is the one that's going to allocate and give you the code. No one will be able to access or even input codes even in the system that even in their system that they're trying to shut everyone from. And so that's what the Kingdom of Mana was actually doing. They tried to tell me about how she's not dead and how she's talking about that, and that's exactly what is happening right now. So now I have to we'll let all the chiefs know, and we'll stand because we will have to do this physically now. We will physically open up a terminal that would allow us to become a private sovereign, which is going to be the gray slash blue black screen, the private system. So that would allow us to be able to do that. Even though I'm talking, these are all confidential stuff, but I'm talking to it. I'm talking about it on the show because I need everyone to understand what at stake. It's not just a simple one country. It's everyone on the planet and the sovereignty that's at stake. You have to learn and understand, and then learn to how to actually stand for your own sovereignty, how to fight for all the knowledge and for all the understanding that you've got. So it's a good thing that we've learned this today. We were there. I was explaining everything to the manager of our local commercial bank, and I call came up, and they all heard all heard her speak, and she was talking about some of these things, plainly. but because it's not normal, you don't hear that those things on the news or on the mainstream media. You don't hear those kind of just they're talking straight about how the Chinese government is going to take over and how this is going to happen. And I let my Australian contact actually confirms that because it's been happening for the past 20 years. And so it's not a threat to us because the sovereignty does not only belong to the tribes. Yeah, it also belongs to Chinese people as well. And we are going whatever they're gonna do, we're gonna teach them to actually work together with everyone and do this and align everyone. Because even in the flag, you'll see that they all also understand. They understand this change that's happening. The flag, you have the four stars and the fifth star, which is the big one behind them, which is the fifth element. And so right now there's just a lot of separation because of the awareness and all the different structures that we have politically and culturally. But eventually they will understand that as soon as we'll talk with them, especially the leaders of China, the Chinese government, will talk with them about it, and because we don't want just like what Trump has done, they want every country to be sovereign and sovereign in that way. And that's why the globalist agenda has been it's not part of this new agreement, and that's the only way to actually to get everyone sovereign. And I'm very thankful that we are learning this now today, and we're going to change that, and we're going to make that connection faster. I will be working now for onwards with Kim and with the other tribes to actually set up that system because our government needs it. There's no money right now on the government, and the money is being, as Kim has mentioned, has been. If it goes through the Reserve Bank of Australia, it will just they will actually stop it and take it away, and then that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna just isolate our system here, especially in the Pacific. Uh, he said that the Australian Reserve Bank are working with the Chinese, and so that's what is happening right now. And if not, we would have already in the process of beginning this project that we have to do, and we'll get everyone. And so I'll be waiting for. I hope they're listening in. The head of the Aboriginal tribe that I involve, and I will be organizing a way to actually work together with the rest of our 12 tribes, Maori in Australia, New Zealand, and in Australia, and the rest of the 12 tribes of the Pacific. And we'll be able to do that and set an example to the rest of the planet. Physically we can even there's a very good probability in Fiji we can just stand on our own and we do this on our own without needing to actually need the money and all this because that's what we can actually do and if we decide all together. But at this moment, this time, there has to be a transition or a progression from peace to freedom. So we'll work towards that because there's so many people that are not in the known or that are still they would call it in the New Age language that are still in three-dimensional perspective of things. And if we become fifth dimensional, we don't rely on anything outside or money to be sovereign in our life. We become sovereign when we choose to create a future together. So that's what you've learned today. Basically, learned so much, a lot. We have some some intel from London, and they were there. They confirmed who Kim was, and they confirmed what the trust is, and all they're talking about is she's gone rogue, and she's the bad guy, and we are the good guys, but they need money. Even the
Well, I think going rogue is a good thing, right?
Yeah, going rogue against world domination and genocide. It's like, yeah, you know
Yes.
what? Good.
Yes, and so it's a good thing that we, it's a big lesson to everyone, especially those people that in the cabal. They don't have any money. They are looking for people to invest in their foundation and all this. We had some connection, and they've asked them to get that 500 million that was part of our foundation. We call it the Fiji company. In Fijian, it's called the Viti company, and they've got that connection, and they wanted that money from the Viti company to be, to be invested in the foundation. And these other people saying that Kim is not a good guy, he's the bad guy. And and he's talking to people that doesn't know. They didn't know a lot of stuff about what's the transition that's happening right now. And and I told them, sorry, this, it's the fruit. It's already on the fruit. Just because they need money, it just shows that they're all just what you call this, trying to oh, I don't have the word for it. Gatekeepers.
Deceive us.
Yeah, deceive us. They're just gatekeepers for the cabal.
Right.
Just trying to deceive us, and they, that's why I told the chiefs we'll have to stand with the trust, and we'll have to stand on, and that's we'll have to stand with Kim and what he's actually doing, and hopefully in the in just a few days we have to work in a very timely manner. It's really good that we end up in this stage right now, because we don't want to be in that state where the economy is collapsing, and we should getting like we're trying to do this now, and we're trying to do what we're doing now to find out that this is happening. That's they're blocking the funds. Now we can't receive any funds because they want the economy to be collapsed. And so we're gonna work, especially with the government, and we'll do that with our central bank, and we'll try and work together with even with our local banks. So because of the knowledge that my brother in Australia has about the banking system, we'll be able to do that efficiently. And I'm just waiting on the call so that we can set that up and get the connection straight to the trust and to Kim. And by then we will truly become a what you call this, a beneficiary of the trust, and the trustee will become the trustee, and she would be able to do what what her role is, to be the trustee and to fulfill what the trust is supposed to be. And so thankful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. I know she kind of she got a shock when I called her up. She was not really ready, and I said, yeah, it's okay. It's good too. It's the first time we've talked, and it's the first time I understand your views on what's happening right now in the Pacific. And from then we can learn and we can change this, because we just don't want, we don't, I mean, the spiritual energy doesn't want to just stand there and we destroy each other. We will have to learn, and we have to know what to do to actually change it. And I know as soon as we have that connection now, the Australian government has that Reserve Bank connection, that pathway. We have to just to change that and work with Kim on how to isolate the connection to the trust from them to us. Because even our commercial banks here, they need the money. The government needs the money. The people needs the money. It's just that the system has been organized in such a way that they still have that control. And so if we can isolate that and take that away from them, we'll move forward as swiftly as we can, and we'll teach everyone to do the same. And if that has to be done, create a totally new system, we'll have to do that. So it's a great lesson for everyone, listening on the show, listening on live. Thank you so much, everyone in the future. Thank you, Ten. Thank you, Tank, once again. I know that's basically what just happened today here in Fiji. We now understand that it's much more bigger than, much more bigger than what everyone thinks, that everything is not just happening, even now that the Chinese government is trying to take over it's not a panic thing or anything. It's just, it has to do with sovereignty. We have to prove our sovereignty to them and tell them that I mean, you can have all this. We are here sovereign. We own the land. We own this and all that. We'll just have to work together to live in peace on this planet. So that's the update from Fiji. And thank you so much for everything, Dan, and thank. Yeah,
Let me
peace and love.
Dewey, let me ask you a
Yes, go ahead.
couple questions. Did you go to the central bank, or was this a commercial bank?
Okay, so the agreement yesterday with Tank was the commercial bank. We had to go to the commercial bank because the central bank will need approval from the PM, and so now we figured out, even if we would have gone to the central bank, we would still need approval from the Reserve Bank of Australia, which is it will always go that way from that side. So that's a good thing to know, because we're going to work on how to isolate that really, really swiftly within these next few hours or few days. And so, because if we don't do that, no matter what the country will have to do, they won't receive any funds. They won't be able to receive it from anywhere because that's the plan is to collapse the whole thing. And so that's why they're trying. But they need the money to actually run the organization, to run all this and keep them afloat. And they're all out of energy, out of money. And so that's why we want to try and do this and get our own connection to the trust. And maybe if we can work together with Kim and the people that set up the Kingdom of Mana. That's the tribes in Australia, because they are the ones that they have the gift to come and do this, to come, and if this happens, they will be the one and we all have a piece of a puzzle. I have the piece of a puzzle, they have the piece of a puzzle. We have to work together to actually return and give the sovereignty back. So I work on the spiritual energy. Their role is to do the physical and undo all the spells that has been used by the cabal for the past thousands of years, because that's their role. And so I'm
Kingdom
actually
of Mana? Wait, that's the role of Kingdom of Mana?
no, there are guys that they're together with Kim that created the Kingdom of Mana in the beginning. And so they were the original tribes that had the contract, or the mana contract. And so and so they're the guys. One of my Matangali there is I call him Matangali. Matangali is family in my language, because we are Matangali. So they're the one who will be setting up the banking system that we run on. So they're going to try and do that in a very swift manner. We're supposed to talk today because everything is coming into alignment, and they already understand that they already understand their role in this change, especially for what is happening right now here in the Pacific and even around the world. So we're going to do that same thing to everywhere, even to the US. To you guys create change. As soon as we do this here, we will be teaching you guys how to actually do your own, have your own connection to the private system. So because Fiji is the most isolated area. If we can do that here, we can do it anywhere on the planet that's close to the that have private access to the trust, because the trust is in the private. It's not in the public. So there's a lot of lessons that we learn. Yes, go ahead.
So who went with you to this meeting? Did the military go with you? Who was there?
Oh, the high chiefs and our there were 6 of us. The cooperative that we formed, we have our what you call the chairman of our cooperative, which is he's the high chiefs. He's one of the high chiefs in Fiji, and together with me and a few other high chiefs that is part of the Fijians Helping Fiji cooperative, and we have an account on that bank. And so we went and talked with the managers of the bank, and they also have liquidity problems. And so they are so happy that the funds will be coming. And as soon as we call Kim, we find out the truth of how things actually is, or how everything is actually happening, and how the banking system is organized, and how they're going to try and take away the funds as it moves over to Fiji. And so those are the few chiefs that are doing this.
Okay, another question.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so were they able to pull up Kim's information on the trust in any computer system there in the bank?
They didn't need for example, they didn't need proof for the trust. The fund can come in and they can receive it. That's If they couldn't receive it, they would want proof and all that. No, but they've already, because they like I said yesterday, they need the money. And so they've already done their research on the trust and who Kim was.
Okay, so
I sent them
did,
some of the documents.
okay, from the documents, the bank was able to confirm.
Yeah, it's not their role to actually find out who's actually doing this and who's. But we've given them that information a few days ago, and we've already have the same understanding on the problem that's happening on the country. But now that we figure out that it's not it's not our fault totally, even here in Fiji, everyone, no matter how they're gonna try, they'll never receive money because it's been controlled outside of Fiji. So we will need to create our own, so that and that's what everyone else, every country on the planet has to do, and get connected to the trust, and don't let anyone else know that party in between, especially not the cabal. And so that's the lesson that we've actually learned from our teams today. And I was telling the chiefs, it's really good we went through this, because if we have gone if later on, like in August or September, that's too late, because there will be no fund for the country to actually run their budget, and it's gonna crash the whole economy, because there will be thousands of people out of jobs, and they won't be able to buy stuff, and the economy won't be able to flow, and the liquidity and everything will just freeze, because people won't be buying, and we will have to learn the lesson in the hard way. And everyone that's in the urban areas will be affected in a very, very bad way. So it's going to be.
Another question.
Yes, go ahead then.
So are you still going to be meeting with the Prime Minister and going to the central bank?
Yes, ultimately we're going to do that, because they don't know. They even if they access a blue screen on the terminal there in the central bank, it's still going to come from Australia, and
Okay.
And that will it will still be a limitation to the funds coming into Fiji. So now it's not just us; it's also the government. Even if we try that central bank and open up that blue screen, they will all, because that's what Kim actually said. The programming that he did was maybe closer to the US, but outside of the US, to all these different systems, they have their own structure. So now we have to reprogram outside. It's like what they've done to how they isolate every bank there in the US, and so we have to do that with our banking system here in Fiji. And I know that's it's a true symbol of this change that we're doing of sovereignty. Because right now we're relying on so many other people. Now first we have to realign ourselves, realign our life, realign our families, tribes, nation, and now we have to realign our banking system. And it's the big lesson of sovereignty that everyone has to learn. And so I'm just thankful that there are people there to help, and there are people there like you, like Dan, like Tank, there to actually provide the lessons, and we learn that together, and we'll be able to apply it to every country in the world, in a very swiftly manner. So yeah, even if we have access to the Reserve Bank, that will still be the
Do
problem.
we know? Another question: Do we know where the prime minister went when he had to leave the country? Did he go to Australia by chance?
I think so. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, because he went on Friday. He came back on Monday. So for the weekend.
all
And
right.
that's the
So
closest place that he's gonna go.
yeah. So I just wonder if he went to go talk to them because they called him and said, gave him marching orders or anything. So so do you have any?
No, maybe he just went for a funeral. For a visit. There's a lot of probabilities.
All right. Well, I'm just, these are just things popping and popping. I know I get that was the case or not, but just curious.
First, man. PG first.
Fiji first. Yeah,
We'll find out.
yeah, make Fiji great again.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
So yeah, you need to have some. Well, I don't want to use that. It's make MFGA. Can't pronounce it. Make Fiji great again. Yeah. It's MAGFA. I don't know the word. MAGFA.
It's not just Fiji great again. It's everyone on the planet, and we just that's just the
Make
focus.
Earth great again. Mega.
Make everyone smart. That's how we make everyone great. So we're gonna do that, and no matter how much they're gonna try and control, we're gonna be physically aligned with everything. So I'm looking forward to the what we're gonna talk about with how to do this and open up this connection to the terminals that we're gonna be doing. Then I'm sure because they've been meeting up with Kim to try and organize this.
I'm sorry, Tank. Do you think that it sounds like Fiji doesn't have its own Swift 2 terminal?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to discover when we were talking about if it was going to come through the Australian National Bank or, Tui and I had talked about it. Like we knew, that there had to be an alignment through Australia somehow. But when Tui talked about them having a blue screen, I thought, oh, maybe they do have a Swift terminal. So that's why I just,
right.
It's hard to, say, but
So
and there are other terminals.
Can the U.S. military send them a terminal?
If the U.S. military could just send Kim a terminal, this wouldn't even be necessary. She could send money wherever she wants. So
okay, let's do that. Because I remember that was scheduled at one point, and then one of the generals, stopped it.
Yep, General Kelly stopped it. But that would be a much easier solution. I mean, but it wouldn't matter. That was a good thing that happened ultimately because Kim was forced to create pathways so that we could all transfer money after that. Because if she would have transferred money to us, they could have just taken it.
Yes.
So, but because all this experience, she had to reprogram everything. So now they're completely cut off, like Tui said. At least here in the U.S. and she's doing similar things everywhere. So, and it's massive.
Now,
yeah, but now it's good if she gets a terminal now.
I think so.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that we're learning this time, so that we don't have to learn it later on when everything has become a problem. It's good. It's a good thing that we're learning this now. So especially even speaking on behalf of the people here in Fiji, and letting everyone listening in, letting everyone know about it, so that wherever you are or whatever country that you are in, you'll be able to understand what you're going against. And if we do this, if we change this for Fiji, and I'll make sure everyone will have to know, everyone that has the project everywhere in the world, because we'll try and make you have access straight to the trust and Kim, and we don't have to use this. Use that path that normally haven't happened in the public terminal. That's the blue screen. And so we'll see. It's the first time for us to do it here, and we'll understand more as we move forward and as we work with the rest of the tribes here in the Pacific. We'll do the same thing for Hawaii or for the tribes here in close by here, Fiji. And we'll use this for everyone that's involved with the trust. So we'll see what we learn from here, and if we continue on the show, everything will be explained and everyone will be able to understand. And because that's that's what they don't want. They don't want they don't want anyone to know this because all we have to be is slaves. And so yeah, that's about the update from Fiji. Thank you so much, then again, and thank you everyone on the live chat. Thank you so much for your time, for being with us here. And yeah, the chiefs here are preparing something for my birthday tomorrow, and we're gonna be celebrating my birthday even without accessing the funds and stuff. So much love and blessing from VG. Unless Dan, you have any questions, or maybe we can
No, I
have a
think we're good. I got it. Well, I guess did you take any pictures while you were at the bank?
No.
Okay,
No
fire
pictures.
the cameraman.
Sorry.
Hey, Tui, happy
yes, go ahead.
birthday, man.
Oh,
Happy
thank you,
birthday.
thank you.
Hey, so if I could just recap a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know.
For the
Were
record.
you asking a question?
No.
I thought you were calling too to ask him something. Okay, never mind. All right.
No. But just to clarify it, just because I think it's really important what Tui said, right? To everybody who might see this now or in the future, like Tui always says, I want you to really think about everybody who thinks Kim has gone rogue and she's the bad guy. Here's what you're up against. You're up against a group of Chinese elders, or the Chinese dragons, who are trying to take over all of the banks, all of the countries, and all of the world, right?
Indeed.
And
one belt, one road.
They have the support of the other dragon families, who all agree it's their turn to be in charge, right? Like a bunch of kids who decided, okay, it's your turn, right? And in this massive plan they have, it includes some hot topics such as a massive genocide of most of everyone's population. And for anyone out there who has a question in the future, and you're like, wait a minute, who's the good guys and who's the bad guys? Because we've been dealing with these same people. Here's a couple things you can ask yourself. Those people that you've been dealing with, have they given you any money? No. Have they ever done what they said they would do? No. Have they threatened your life? I guarantee they have. Have they threatened your family's life? I guarantee they have. Have they done horrible things that have hurt the economy, your family, the environment? Have they lied publicly? Have they lied in the media? Have they created a false narrative, but they've given you a wink to make you feel like you're special, but never actually done anything for you? Okay, those are the bad guys. Those are the guys who keep lying to you, who have a mission. And believe me, if they told you that most of the population was going to be wiped out, but you were going to be spared, they were lying to you. You are not going to be spared. Matter of fact, if you comply with them, you are most definitely going to be one of the first people sent to Antarctica, and not like a place in Antarctica where there's a cool base, but a place in Antarctica where you're going to freeze to death and die, because they don't care about you. They want to eliminate 90% of the population, and that's just the part they knew about, because they would have been eliminated too. So those are the bad guys. Now, did Kim go rogue? Yes, sort of. This was always her mission. This was always her path. But she went rogue in the sense that for 2 years they trained her, right? And she didn't know that they were evil until she saw it with her own eyes. So as she saw it, but she's even told me she was deceived by them for a couple of years too. But once she realized, she had a choice too. They basically told her that humanity had to die. She chose humanity above all else. Above everyone else, she chose humanity. Above all the galactics and all, she said, I'll take humanity. So she
Indeed.
made that choice to choose you, and she is every part of her. I mean, Kim is not some schlub, right? She was already a millionaire. She was already, very well off and owned businesses and very successful and powerful. She already had those titles. She didn't need any of this. She lives a humble life. Right now she lives in a way that is modest, right? She gets by, and she took that path so that all of us could live. So anybody who happens to hear this or see this or in the future, I really want you to consider that the choice these other characters make is that you die. Kim is the one who chose that you have a chance to live and live prosperously, and you don't have to live with a guilty conscience knowing you killed off all these people. That you can live and you can be abundant and you can be prosperous and you can be vital and you can thrive, and your friends can thrive and your family can thrive and others can thrive, and we all grow, we all exceed, we all excel. You tell me who the bad guy is, right? They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. Kim's
Indeed.
the good guys. We're the good guys. Just FYI.
Yes, and that's why we're gonna stand with the trust, and that's the wisdom that we can see. And that's the reason why I contacted you guys and not anyone else. I've been involved with them, and I can understand the way they're taking things into the future. And yeah,
So
uh,
when I'm sorry to interrupt, but to say that someone's gone rogue, what does that mean? It means that they've taken a different path, right?
yeah,
That's not on the path that everyone else is on. So everyone is on the road to, the depopulation, to making one world order with just very few people on it. And she went rogue against it. That means we all live because she did that.
That's right.
So let her go. We should all be rogue at this point. We're on the rogue path.
we are rebels. That's what we are.
Yeah. In the rebellion. G1, WGA.
We are. That's why we're waking. I mean, we are already awake. And, we cannot turn back. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for today. Thank you for today's show. Thank you for the experience, and I'm looking forward to the next broadcast. And thank you so much to everyone watching live. And thank you so much for your time. And also everyone in the future. Much love and blessing from Fiji.
Thanks, Dewey.
Thanks, Dewey.
All right. Dan?
Yes.
I think that's wraps it up. What do you think, man?
I think that's pretty good. We're good to go. I think. I just think that it's a very positive sign for them to say, "Well, she's gone rogue." Doesn't mean she's a liar. Doesn't mean it's not true. It means she's gone against them. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the this is the most important thing to realize is that we actually have a someone there that has taken that other path, and now people that are checking it out and said, yeah, it's there. All right, the trust is there. She's the trustee, and okay. So now that the asset is there, she wants to provide it to people that have no money. So who's stopping it? All right. So
Now,
the ones that are in the way need to be, step aside or be pushed aside.
and Tui did say that they had sources out of London that they did confirm Kim is exactly who she says she is, right? They
Right.
said she does have control of the money, and she's gone rogue. And thank God, because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That is very encouraging. Everybody, every country in the world should be going rogue against that system, against the mass genocide. I mean, is there anything worse? I mean, I say it so often now, it's almost become numb to me. But I'm like, there's a plan to kill everybody. Like, just stop that. That's it. It's so simple. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. So
Don't do that. Stop that.
yeah, stop that.
Stop it.
Love it.
Bring up that Bob Newhart skit. Stop it.
Stop it.
Don't want to do that. Let's all go rogue and have an abundant-based life against this scarcity mindset, debt civilization. We need to move forward and be able to produce things and make new sciences and new discoveries and not be hindered by all of this. Oh, we have to slow down. We have to not do this. Oh, this is going to impact that badly. Well, forget all of that fear-based stuff. we have the ability now to move forward. We've got the one with all the assets on the planet on our side, ready to provide everything, and just use the existing system to put the money through into everybody's accounts. Okay, let's go. Who's stopping?
You know what, man? I think that's like my new battle. That's my new battle cry now, dude. Go rogue.
Go rogue.
I'm gonna change my message. When people call me, my voicemail is just gonna say, "Sorry, gone rogue. I'm out." Like taking a different path.
It's it. Country's gone rogue. It sounds like that. One of those.
I mean, that's exactly how.
Girls Gone Wild, Country's Gone Rogue.
That's exactly how the people of the GCR will feel about DANK. Oh, he's gone rogue.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, I got. I was sent something. Let me share my screen. We're not ending, so that's okay. But let me show you something. This was just sent to me about the Zims. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Again, I've not checked this out or anything like that, but it is interesting to see a court ruling Zim illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is breaking news. Draft order. So draft order to the High Court to declare Zim dollar introduction illegal, and this is today. This is published today. So. It's just it's an image. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. There we go. This is from, where is this from? I'm looking for the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Okay, so in the High Court of Zimbabwe, held at Harare, in the matter between Godfrey Mupanga and Minister of Finance and the Economic Development, number one respondent, number two, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe draft order. No date is put there yet. Before honorable justice, and that's not filled in. Okay, here it says, whereupon, after reading documents filed of the record and hearing counsel, it is ordered that, number one, it be and is hereby declared that the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe legal tender regulations SI 142 of 2019 are null and void, and they are ultra vires. I don't know what that means, and enabling legislation via Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Act Chapter 22. :15, and therefore are in contravention of Section 134 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Alternatively, that's number two. Alternatively, it is hereby declared that the provisions of Section 64, as read within Section 44A of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Act, Chapter 22:15, are unconstitutional and therefore null and void, to extend that they are inconsistent with Section 134A of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, and for want of compliance with Section 134F of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. And number three, the decision by respondents to the ban the multi-currency system in Zimbabwe prescribed in Section 44A of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Act, Chapter 2215, as legal tender is grossly unreasonable in the circumstances that it is thereby set aside. Number 4, respondents to bear jointly in servability of applications. All right, so then there's just a registration page. So this is as of, roughly, yesterday. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know what they're referring to, that they're basically, I don't know what this is all about, the provisions of 64, right? Section 44A of that charter. I don't know what that says. So I don't know what that they're saying that they're going against. They're reversing. But they're saying it's something about the Zim dollar introduction being illegal. Okay, so I don't know what this is referring to. We'd have to do some research. But anyway, that was kind of interesting. It's new. So I don't know if this is multi-currency. What are they referring to? But it's worth investigating. See because everything is around the around the GCR is Zim or dinar or historical assets.
Yep. We'll see what it means. I'm sure people are going crazy spinning that, trying to say that it means it's revalued, but it has not.
Well, this means the GCR is happening now. Yay!
Don't you know what this means? Yes, I know what it means. I know what it means. The same thing you always think it means. Nothing. It means nothing. But no, but I think it does mean something. It probably does mean they have to take some kind of legal action to stop this stuff at some point. You have to declare something.
Maybe, and there's also a point on draft order, so it's not been signed or it's a draft order put in. So I don't know what the regulations or legal process is in Zimbabwe, but it is interesting.
It is interesting.
So anyway, I just got that just before we started this broadcast. So it's kind of anyway, we'll see where that leads. Well, yeah, I guess that's it for today, and we'll dig in a little bit more into this tomorrow, maybe.
Okay.
If there's anything there, I don't know. It might take it a couple of weeks to percolate.
Nope. All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Subscribe, thumbs up, positive comments. Please go to www.g1wga.love website and register and participate with me there. I would highly appreciate any of you sign up for memberships. That really helps. So thanks and have a good day.